I've talked to very senior diplomats, and I've said, do you think there's something here that Vladimir Putin invaded Ossetia and Georgia under the Bush administration? He invaded the Donbass and Crimea under the Obama administration. He tried to take Kiev in the Biden, but for 4 years when he was eager to go, he stayed within his borders under Trump. Or why was it there was no major war in the Middle East? Or why was Iran broke? Or why did China not send a balloon over the United States or not serially threaten? So they know that, and I think the world knows that. So it was a far safer place when he was there. As far as Australia, it's kind of ironic that a lot of the English-speaking countries are suspicious of him, and yet in the United States, there has been criticism from the left that he is such a partisan for the Western countries, and his mother was from Britain, and that he is especially pro-Australian, pro-British, even pro-Canadian, even given the Trudeau government. And he's talked very warmly of the Japanese and the South Koreans and the Israelis. And he's not an isolationist, as he's accused. As we've talked before, John, he's a Jacksonian. And I think what it means for Australia, he's committed to be a strong ally of the United States. And what does that mean in practical terms? He's not going to let China go into airspace that's Australia's if Australia objects. He's not going to get into your internal affairs, but if an Australian diplomat says a Chinese ship is coming into our territorial waters, as they do with the Philippines, or Chinese are overflying, he will call up the Chinese and say, you are vulnerable yourself. Do you want me to? That's how he's transactional like that, but he has a strong sense of affinity with the countries that best mirror image the majority and the traditions of English-speaking, founded by the British. And I would think people in Australia and Britain especially would appreciate that. I mean, he's very anachronistic, and he's been made fun of. He still talks of Reagan and Thatcher and Roosevelt and Churchill, and thinks that that the British version of the European Western experience is the one closer to the American spirit. And we'll see. But I think if I was a member of the former British Commonwealth or the present British Commonwealth, I would feel that this was an opportunity to have an American president that would take political heat to be a very strong ally in a way that we haven't seen before. And I think you're going to see that very quickly. I think he's going to increase the defense budget. He's already talked about that, about breaking up the swamp, stopping the revolving door so we don't end up building $177 million F-22s or $14 billion aircraft carriers alone. We start to produce, as we did in World War II, thousands of cheap drones, thousands of Patriot missiles at a cheaper cost, a whole new way of trying to defend the West. Yeah.